Hello there, welcome back to another YouTube video with Again Titan, and we're on World of Tanks Mercenaries, the console version of World of Tanks, and we're on the Heilbronn map, standard battle. I'm in the T-34-100, and it's a strong tier 8 battle really. I'm gonna go to the middle, although at least 4, maybe 5 tanks of our team are actually gonna go down into the town, and I've long held the view that going into the town is useless, and I think this game is more evidence that going to the town is actually useless. Especially for the southern team actually, because it's very hard, even if you win the town, to get out of the town to the north. It's actually easier to get out to the south, although still difficult if the enemy are set up to stop you, or if you get there in time for it makes any difference to the match. Which is what usually I find, that you don't get there in time. You don't clear the town in time to actually make a difference to the actual match. And we have our first spotted tanks. KV-2 looking backwards for some reason. That turret turns slow enough that you don't really want it to be pointing backwards at the start of the battle. The ramrod after getting into a position there. Now I don't think he can drive through the rock there. He has to actually back up. I'm going to pull up here and try and get these guys dead passing. I did so, but I took a hit, punishing hit from the ramrod, and bounced off the gun mantle, I think. Something from either the Carnarvon or the Tiger P. And since I was the first tank spotted and I was hanging around more or less the same location, I'm starting to attract artillery fire. So we kind of tuck in here to the reverse slope to make it as difficult as possible for artillery to hit. I just waited there for the ramrod to pull out, because there's only so much they could do in that location, and they were bound to pull out at some stage. So that was an easy hit, relatively safe. Now I need to make the ground here. I need to slope on the ground in order to get the gun depression get the gun depressed enough to actually shoot these tanks. I don't want to be going out too far into the high ground, exposing my tank to view enemy tanks. I just want to keep that to a minimum, so I want to use the slope here and just try and get those tanks to Tiger P and Carnarvon when they back up. Now we have a Rheinmetall Borsig sitting out in the open, so we're just going to take the opportunity and put a shot in. We're down tanks. We've cleared the town despite the fact that we overnumbered and lost 2 tanks doing it. Which would suggest to me that not only was the heavy tank in town reasonably decent, but also they were probably getting supporting fire from the ridge lines behind it along the 6A, 6B, 6B, B6, A6. And we're now, 2 of us are left out of that, what, 4 or 5 tanks that went down, and yes, there are tanks on the ridgeline as it turns out. Probably more than is needed to be, because you'll subsequently see there's at least 2 more tanks down there. If they'd been up here, they could have overwhelmed us, I think. Or in fact, if 2 of them had come up, there's 3 of them visible now, and there's a tank destroyer tank down there as well. If 2 of those tanks had come up, yeah, and just advanced onto the flank in my position, because I was on my own for quite a bit, and relatively unsupported. They could have probably rolled around my side of the hill and taken me out, actually rolled up our position from that side, because the tanks in the town obviously weren't going to stop them or interfere with it. Now I come around here just to support this side and spot the Scorpion G, and I'm not in a position to shoot at him because of the slope of the ground. So I'm backing up because I need to get a separate angle. I thought the Scorpion G would come after me, which I thought would be the sensible thing to do, but once it crossed over, however, we were attacking around the other corner of this hill that I'm hiding behind, and it got no support. The other 2 or 3 tanks with it didn't come up behind it onto the ridgeline, which means that I can come around here and I can start coming around the back of that ridgeline with that Scorpion, and the ramrod are both doomed, because if the enemy, my allies on the other side doesn't get them, I'll get them coming around from this side. There's the Ragnarok giving us support. There's 2 of the enemy tanks popping up in that ridgeline. But it's too late, and it's the wrong place to pop up, because we're actually now so close to that ridgeline that we're guaranteed shots into their lower front plate, while they have to expose themselves to fire down onto us. And okay, firing down is actually pretty good because the top armor tends to be weaker, but we'll get the shot off first, because they have to come out and then come out far enough to actually get the guns pointing down. They're not going to be able to bring guns pointing down from that height without giving us a free shot. In fact, we get 2 shots essentially, because they come out, they get shot, they shoot, and they could probably get shot again before they get back into cover. Pershing is also a little overexposed because there's 2 of us here, and he's taken multiple hits. Okay, he's delivered some hits as well, but he's done it with 2 separate tanks. So the outcome is to our advantage, because we probably have collectively a larger hit point pool than the Pershing does. Now I'm not going to get a shot onto the Pershing from here, because the same problem, I'm going to have exposed myself crossing the ridgeline and then get down low enough in order to get the shot off. And I don't have the hit points for that sort of carry on, because the Pershing won't really have a lot of problem penetrating my frontal armor. So let's get down into the lower ground, where I don't need the I have a better chance of putting a shot through, and the Pershing has backed up, but you see the rear has fallen as well. Now we are in trouble. We're in serious trouble, in fact. At this stage I thought we were going to lose the game, because the enemy light tank has made it into the cap circle. However, I didn't disengage because I was already engaged. If I disengaged, the chances were that the Pershing would, the 2 enemy tanks would beat their 1 remaining enemy tank, and then they'd just be able to pursue me because they'd be just as fast as I was. Our best bet of actually winning was to clear out the local defence and then get 3 tanks into the cap circle so we can cap faster. One of our tanks has decided to go for the enemy, for our cap circle, which is actually sensible enough, because more than 3 tanks is not going to make a difference. Only 3 tanks make a difference in capping. Now I'm not the first tank in, I'm the second tank in, but we're already starting to catch up with the even though there's 2 enemy tanks down the cap circle. The tank destroyers already also made it into the cap circle. We're actually starting to catch up with them. We're accumulating cap points a little bit faster. And our guy, our medium tank, has actually managed to find a location where they've spotted one of the enemy tanks in the cap circle. Now they've spotted the tank destroyer, which is a later arrival, and they're going to just eliminate the tank destroyer, but at the cost of the tank. At this point, victory's pretty much in the bag. We have won, we're uncatchable, and we've captured the base, so that's it. The light tank wasn't going to capture the base in time to make any difference to make this a draw, for instance, sort of with a mutual capture. So it's game over, and we just have to see the final results. So, looking at the final results, we did over 2,000 damage, we destroyed 1 enemy tank, we got a first class mastery, sniper and confederate. So quite satisfied with that result. Particularly when I was not a, top tier. However, the Ragnarok I think did really well, nearly 4,500 damage, pretty impressive. Came number 1, and that's it, there's nothing more to say. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, comment, share. It really helps the channel out. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.